another episode of A Moment of Tiki, coming to you from my indoor tiki space here in Central Texas. As we are progressing deeper into 2026, I have belatedly realized that this year marks the 10-year anniversary of my first very small tentative baby steps into tiki culture. And I'm thinking, as I look around my tiki build here inside and outside in the Lagoon of Mystery, I've got a pretty good thing going. But it wasn't always like this. I remember back when I was first starting out, I would look at other people's tiki spaces and, be embarrassed and self-conscious about my few artifacts and bits of tiki decor that I have up, and felt very inferior. And I'm here to tell you that you shouldn't be feeling inferior if you're just now starting out and are tiki curious or beginning to build out your home tiki bar or rec room or lounge or whatever have you. The best time to start building your personal tiki space, like planting fruit trees, is 20 years ago. The second best time to start building your home tiki space is right now. So that's what I'm here to encourage you to do today. Now, you're gonna look and you're gonna say, well, Jamie, you've got so much cool stuff. I live in a tiki wasteland. I hear that so much. And you know what? So do I. Central Texas has never been a tiki mecca. If you wanna go back in history, in the decade of 1960s, Austin had Steak Island, which I think in today's parlance might be considered tiki light. San Antonio never had a permanent tiki outpost of any sort. There was a 9-month tiki pop-up at the Hemisphere World's Fair in 1967, and that was it. Yet still, the bulk of decor, maybe not bulk, but a large percentage of it, I have found going to estate sales in my area. Now you're going to be saying, well, yeah, but I live in the Midwest. I live in the Great Lakes region. I live in Wyoming. I live, Mississippi. We don't have any cool stuff there. Well, 9 times out of 10, we don't have any cool stuff at the estate sales I go to either. But that 10th time, you go to enough, the numbers start adding up. And I'm going to show you, for example, this monkey lamp. This monkey lamp in and of itself is not tiki, yet it is not anti-tiki, and it fits perfectly with the decor. A few weeks ago, I went out and it was another estate sale. No tiki whatsoever, except the lady had this resin tiki statue in her garden. Now it's faded, there's some sun damage, it was knocked over and broken in two, and it was poorly repaired, but I think I can restore it and refurbish it and have it looking fantastic. This is a find at a house that had no other tiki. The former owner was not a tiki file. Just this morning, my wife and I went to another estate sale. Again, no tiki whatsoever in the house. It might even be considered anti-tiki, yet we found this cool album, Arthur Lyman's Taboo, one of the classics of the exotica genre, which is essentially the soundtrack to home tiki. So these things are out there, and I'm going to show you how to find them. Now, some people will say, don't share our secrets, don't spoil everything. My philosophy is that even if you know how to do something, that doesn't mean you will be able to follow through. Now, there are 2 competing websites that have mailing lists for estate sales, and you can go to them and type in your search radius from your zip code, and you will get weekly emails telling you which estate sales are coming up in the coming weekend, okay? That's estatesales.net and estatesales.org. There's also estatesales.com, but one of those other two own it and redirect to them. Now, here's the thing. I can share with you how to do it, but only you can actually do it for yourself. Most people, when given the opportunity, are going to choose to sleep in rather than get up and go to an estate sale. So my wife and I have gotten into the habit of getting up every Saturday and checking out 2 or 3 estate sales in the general area that we want to go check out. When we're planning our estate sale visits, first of all, I get the email alerts and look through the listings in our area to see if there's anything obviously Tiki, obviously Hawaiian, obviously tropical, or obviously mid-century modern. If we can see anything like that that would fit into the decor, then that location gets priority. Second to that, we look for those places that are cluttered, because cluttered places are homes where grandparents lived and kept all their souvenirs and mementos if they had a vacation to Florida or Mexico or someplace in the Caribbean, or motherlode jackpot, they went to Hawaii one time in 1976 and brought back some, treasures. Then those are the places to go to. Most of the time, you're not going to find that, but you might find, a Hawaiian sculpture that grandma thought was cool that she bought and brought home from treasure craft, or their uncle went to the Caribbean and brought back some decor, something like that. These things accumulate, they get stuffed away in a corner and forgotten about. With multi-day estate sales, each subsequent day has a discount applied because they want to move all of their stuff. The first day is full price. The second day is traditionally 25% off. The third day is traditionally 50% off. Most of the estate sales we go to are 3-day sales. If you're fortunate enough to have a 4-day sale, that's usually 75% off, which you can have some fantastic bargains there. Now, you have to weigh your priorities. If you see something in the listings that you really, really must have that you think is super valuable, you have to go the first day. You have to get in line early. You have to hope that nobody beats you to it, and you're going to have to pay the full asking price. Second day, 25% discount's not bad. Usually our sales that we go to start Thursday, then Friday, and Saturday is the last day. So when my wife and I go, we see things that are 50% off. And that's when you can find some real bargains. In fact, towards the end of the day, you often have the opportunity to negotiate with the estate sale people, because you know what? They want the stuff gone, especially if it's a packed house and the majority of the material is still there. They don't want to have to deal with it afterwards. So that is your cue to make some great negotiated deals. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you see, please hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. If you really like what you've been seeing here at A Moment of Tiki, please leave a comment or maybe even share the video to your feeds. What this does is make it easier for others to find A Moment of Tiki. And if you do that, I will be grateful. Mahalo. Now I'm going to take a few minutes to share with you some of the really cooler treasures that I have found at estate sales to decorate my Tiki space. I want you to not take this as me showing off or bragging, because that's not my intent. But I just want to show you what is possible to find if you are relentless in your pursuit. This is an actual fish trap that I got from the estate of retired Texas State University art professors. Again, no other Tiki there at all, but they had a whole bunch of tribal artwork, Africa, Native American, South American, Aborigines, and yes, even fish traps from Southeast Asia. This kind of blew my mind. It is one of the carved Tiki faces from the front of a Whitgo Tahiti bar. The Tahitian bar is like my ultimate dream bar. And who would have dismantled it and taken it apart and pieced out the faces and other stuff? I don't know, but I had to rescue this and bring it home to a place where it would be appreciated. Tapa cloth. It's mounted on a piece of plywood. It was hanging up in the house. Nobody really knew what it was. Again, this was from a house, an estate sale that had no other tiki in it whatsoever. How did it get there? I have no idea, but it's mine now. My wife and I were driving through Round Top, Texas, which is famous for its antique sales, when my wife noticed an estate sale sign. So we pulled over, walked through it. The house was full of African masks. And as we were about to go, I said to my wife, it's all these African masks here. Wouldn't it kill them just to have at least one PNG mask? And I turned the corner and there it was in the hallway. Crocodile mask right here. It was marked for $40. It was the third day of the sale, 50% discount. So we brought it home for $20. It's okay to hate me. I can't believe my luck.
This 15-inch blue Japanese fish float complete with kanji marks, found that at an estate sale right here in New Braunfels. It was buried in the guy's backyard under some bushes along the house. And yeah, you guessed it, not another single piece of tiki in the place at all.
Technically, this didn't come from an estate sale. It was a moving sale. A tiki file in the Austin area had retired and actually was moving to Spain and selling off all of their content. I myself did not get to go until the third day of the sale. So most of the really good tiki stuff, including orchids of Hawaii lamps and other such mugs and carvings, were gone. But this monkey pod punch bowl set remained, and I grabbed it because it was a great deal. I think I paid $30 for it. And I spoke to other tiki files in the area afterwards, and they said, yeah, they saw it, they looked at it, but they didn't get it because it was so large and they didn't know what they would do with it. This has turned out to be one of my all-time best gets because we use it to serve punch constantly at my dive-in movies. This has been a fantastic, fantastic addition to my tiki decor and useful tiki stuff too. The oversized carved Filipino fork and spoon. These are ubiquitous in tiki bars. And you know what? They are pretty darn common in Texas farmhouses too. I cannot begin to count how many of these I've seen scattered around the countryside, and it makes no rhyme or reason. You'll see these hanging in houses that have nothing else tropical whatsoever, but I guess in the 70s and 80s, this was the thing to have. A spirit mask from the Mindabit village on the Sepik River in Papua New Guinea. Got the cowrie shells, the carved tongue, got the raffia fringe, bird, got holes for more fringe in here. This is probably from the 70s maybe, but wait, there's more. Another Papua New Guinea mask from the Sepik River region. This is, I love the colors on this. Got the cowrie eyes, got the raffia fringe. This is just looks great, and it is a magnificent addition to my home tiki space. But wait, there's more. Look at this Papua New Guinea suspension hook. This is amazing. It's got the cowrie eyes. It's got a lot of embedded cowries, some broken shells there. On the top, I don't know if you can see it from here, but this looks like it's embedded human hair. This is insane. Their feathers used to be embedded along the chin. You can see the holes. There's a few remnants right there. All three of these pieces I've just shared with you were found at one estate sale in Canyon Lake, which is right outside of New Braunfels. Again, there was nothing else tiki there. There wasn't anything even tribal there. It makes no sense that these three pieces were in this house, which was relatively nondescript. This really, really cool rattan swivel chair, which I restored on a previous episode of A Moment of Tiki. So those are some of the cool decor items that I've gotten and decorated and enhanced my tiki space with through estate sales. And now, for the extra fun part, I'm taking you folks along with me to some actual estate sales to see what it's like. If you've never been, this could be eye-opening. Come on, let's go. Okay, here we are. See that's where we're going? And we're going to check it out, see if there are any treasures remaining here for us on this Saturday before we head up to Canyon Lake. This is kind of cool. Pineapple chandelier. I don't need that, but that would be neat, nifty, especially if you put some flicker bulbs in there. We're going to go and take a look in there a little bit. That's rattan. Not bad. Now, this is definitely lots of clutter, but nothing so far that I can not live without. Plastic seashell punch bowl set, $10. Fish trays underneath for $8. Potential finds, but not what I'm looking for today. I've got several of those at home already. Okay, this is interesting. It's a rattan sofa. Outside it's been weathered, it needs refinishing, that's for sure. Might be interested in this if I hadn't gotten my sofa last year. Bargain price. What's the price on here? $375. Whoa, that's a lot more than I'd be willing to spend. Matching chair, and a footstool. After this, $175. I think that's way overpriced, even at a 50% discount, because those need some serious restoration. Yeah, that's crazy optimistic. Even if I needed one, I wouldn't be spending those prices for this. Here we go. This is what I came to look for. $35. Quite a few glass floats. That one's large. That's like 10 inches. Not for sale. Excuse me. Shelves over here. There's another 55. Oh, 55. This is like 6-inch ball. I could get authentic ones from Nautical Antique in Galveston for $40 that were 12, 13 inches across. These are way overpriced. Yeah. Okay, wasted trip, folks. I know a lot of you are probably screaming at me. Grab these. $20 for the shell? Okay, now that's not bad. Okay, well, that was disappointing. I would have liked to have grabbed those fish floats in there, but they were just insanely overpriced. Part of hitting the estate sales is knowing the market, knowing what's available, and knowing what's a good deal and what's not.
And I know there are some folks out there who say, we never see any fish floats around here. I would have grabbed all of them. It's like, 50%. I'm not going to spend $100 on these tiny floats. Hurts me to leave them, but you got to make those tough calls sometimes. Okay, I'm in Canyon Lake for another visit, and I like Canyon Lake because it's an older community from the 40s, 50s, 60s. A lot of these houses are older. They've accumulated lots of stuff. Right here, this is weird though, because this house right there, very familiar. I think I came here to an estate sale like a year ago. Scratching my head on that one. We'll see. Cool old vintage stereo, but I am not in the market for a restoration right now. That's pretty cool. Original bill of sale. 70s stairway, 70s deep shag, I guess. Albums, CDs, DVDs. Yeah, I've been here before. They had an estate sale last winter, I believe. My wife and I came here and looked through all the albums. A lot of the stuff was overpriced. A lot of stuff still overpriced. Frustrating, but nothing for me here. Dry well. Going on to the next space. Right, at our second Canyon Lake stop. Not terribly optimistic, but let's see what we have here. Not a whole heck of a lot of stuff. Seems fairly picked over. Doesn't seem like there was a whole lot here to begin with.
Boyfriend, friend. Yeah. But she is also taking classes at ACCs. Yeah, good. We were like, don't waste all your money on, or ours. Yes, that's on like super expensive classes when you could literally get
Most interesting thing here. Cool kind of mid-century chair, but I don't need it. Just want to point out that this is the most tiki thing here. Little solar flicker torches out in the yard. Oh well, dry holes. Gotta expect them. So today I am coming to the fourth day of a massive estate sale. It's advertised nationally. These folks have been collectors of all sorts of Disney, Playboy, nautical stuff, which is the main reason I'm here. They don't really have any tiki, but from what I've heard from friends who have gone on previous days, the wait to get in has been hours long. So I don't know if there's going to be anything left, but we're going to find out. All right, that was a 45-minute wait. Now I'm going inside and we are going to see what is left. Fingers crossed, huh? Some interesting artifacts here, but nothing is too... Oh, here we go. Got a little Maui piece. What's the price on this guy? $68. This is... Yeah, it's 50% off today, so that'd be $34. This... I like this. This is a score. Bamboo screen. Some projectors, some bellows. Lots of amazing cameras here. Books, books, books. Trains.
Just saying. That's so funny.
More books.
Well, I just don't
Oh, cool. The sea view from the flying submarine. That's from Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, the movie and the television series. It's $125, 50% off, so that's, what, 60 something. Oh, there's a Nautilus. It looks like an unfinished model kit right there. Explorer, George Washington model kit. This is all cool, but not... Ooh, there's a big Nautilus right there. Okay, so Nautilus has some significant damage to it, and they're still asking $135 for it, so I'm gonna have to pass. That's even 50% off, that's more than I'm willing to pay.
Joe!
Okay, it's a squawker. These are pretty cool. And this one, $89. Ooh, okay. We'll pass on that, but would have been nice to have. Barware. Doesn't look like there's anything vintage. See all the films? No good swizzles or anything. Like their popcorn. Vintage collectors are going to hate me for passing on this, but we've got Wolfman, Lon Chaney, Universal Monsters. There's a Creature, Invisible Man, Frankenstein, Mummy. Over here we got several Madame Leota, crystal balls, The Haunted Mansion. Disney freaks should know. Go! Grab them, grab them, grab them. So, not part of my aesthetic, and I'm not into reselling. Okay, this is interesting. It is a rattan hanging chair. I recently acquired one of these that I need to restore. The price on this is $160. This one would definitely need some restoration and TLC, but I don't want to pay $80 for that. That's overpriced in my opinion, even though it does seem to be mostly intact.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that little trip. This is the only guy I came home with, but I am pleased as punched. I do not have enough Maori Wakairo carvings, and I just am in love with the form. But more to the point, you know, there's multiple estate sales, and this is the only piece I came home with. Now, granted, the estate sales I shared with you today were really kind of more interesting than normal. The average one I go to is just full of Texas farmhouse chic or just country implements with very little things of interest at all. Yet, yeah, that big one was just kind of bonkers, wasn't it? But apart from that, that just shows that there is a diversity of opportunity and treasures to be found. One just has to continuously seek them out, and one has to know their budget and what the market will bear. I could have spent a small fortune on those glass fish floats, but I have quite a few fish floats already, and I know the value, and they were certainly overpriced. A number of you may be screaming exactly the opposite, but you have to learn to judge and evaluate the value of items you find in your own market. But that's the trick. Your market will have things that my market doesn't, and vice versa. But there is always something. Tiki adjacent, Tiki prime, mid-century modern. You just have to get out there and look for it. And I know you can, because even though all of this looks incredibly amazing, and you're saying to yourself, I can never have half of what he's got. Remember, you're seeing this all at once. You're seeing this in a half hour YouTube video. This took me a decade to accumulate, weekend by weekend, week by week, month to month, year to year. No tiki bar is ever built in a day. So if you get out there now and start hunting, 10 years from now, you can completely surpass my collection. Until next time from Lagoon of Mystery, aloha.